Anytime it comes to making big decisions, and I think of, how we steward the wealth that's been entrusted to us is a really big responsibility. And so when we make decisions around what is our investment thesis, what are we expecting to happen, how are we going to invest, and how are we going to protect capital and generate great returns? I've learned, despite, my own ego at times, to remind myself I don't have all the answers, to turn to prayer and take time to listen to others, listen to the Lord, and not rush.
I think it's remarkable. A part of how you've been able to do what you've done and the team at DLP Capital. It's having the mindset to see and seize opportunity when others won't or can't, right? To see and seize opportunities when others won't or can't. What would you say is your number one way? I mean, personally, that you do that and that you practice that? Because I imagine you have all the same feelings a lot of the banks have and the people have and the investors have, right? Where the feelings it's that come up, right? But how do you stay centered to be able to see and also seize the opportunities when others won't or can't?
It's a good question, and the best answer that comes to my mind to that question is, it just reminds me of, what I call the verse of my life, which is, to whom much is required, much, or to much is given, much will be required. Luke 12:48. And I know I've been incredibly blessed, and I take great responsibility for the blessings that have been provided to me to live in this great country. You see my shirt. This is our Vision Day shirt today at DLP, kind of our Americana shirt for our dream outdoor resort, our RV platform. But I know living in this country at this time, I know God's given me a number of blessings that make me capable of leading. And I think when you realize that, everything I've been able to accomplish is not because I'm so great, but because He's so great, it's humbling, and it allows you to stay, centered and not get too high or get too low and get too caught up in emotions. I've done now over 30,000 real estate transactions. I've acquired, tens of thousands of units. I've made billions of dollars of loans. I'm able to have, great leaders around me who challenge my thinking. I have great peers that I get to communicate with, the top, operators, developers, economists, et cetera, in the world, who I get to talk to, people who are incredibly smart, who I love to not talk and listen and learn and observe, and just not get too caught up in the noise and it's out there. And I try to, anytime it comes to making big decisions, and I think of, how we steward the wealth that's been entrusted to us is a really big responsibility. And so when we make decisions around what is our investment thesis, what are we expecting to happen, how are we going to invest, and how are we going to protect capital and generate great returns? I've learned, despite, my own ego at times, to remind myself I don't have all the answers, to turn to prayer and take time to listen to others, listen to the Lord, and not rush. And so, we've grown fast and are doing a lot of things, but we really take our time to be thoughtful about how we're going to go about executing and back it up with as much data and insights as we can, as well as leveraging, experience of our great team, and to make the decisions we make. And it's been, serving as well. We'll make mistakes. We certainly have made mistakes. But when you run large funds that make lots of investments, that's a great part of the benefit is we won't get everyone right. But when you have a fund that owns 15,000 units or 500 different loans, you can get a decision wrong every now and then. But the end result of the whole spectrum is, double digit returns, consistent distributions, et cetera.